How often do we shy away from the conversations that matter most? Your ability to communicate effectively can be the difference between stagnation and growth for you and your team. In this video, I'll reveal the 3 keys every ambitious leader needs to master communication. Stick around to the end for an essential insight that could transform how you connect with others. Okay, key number 1, listen to understand, not to reply. How many times have you entered a conversation already preparing your response before the other person has even finished speaking? Active listening is the cornerstone of effective communication, yet it's one of the most underutilized skills. Research from MIT shows that leaders who prioritize listeners foster higher levels of trust and team collaboration. So what does it mean to listen actively? It starts with presence, truly focusing on the speaker without distractions. Here's a quick story. A senior manager I worked with was known for interrupting during meetings, which led to frustration among the team. She decided to implement a simple tactic, counting to 3 after someone finished speaking before responding. It seemed trivial, but that pause allowed her to fully process what was said. The impact? Meetings became more collaborative and team morale skyrocketed. Here's an action step for you. In your next meeting or connection or conversation, practice intentional listening. Instead of formulating a response immediately, ask clarifying questions like, hey, can you elaborate on that? Or what's your perspective on this issue? Start small, and you'll notice a shift in how others perceive you as a leader. Key number 2, speak with clarity and confidence. Unclear communication is one of the biggest barriers to effective leadership. How often do we assume others understand our expectations, only to be met with confusion or missed outcomes? Leadership expert Simon Sinek puts it best. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Your ability to articulate your vision, expectations, or feedback clearly and confidently is non-negotiable. For example, imagine you're delegating a task to a team member. Instead of saying, please handle this project, try something like this. I'd like you to create a draft of the marketing strategy by Friday at 2 p.m. Include key points about our target audience and competitor analysis. Let me know if you need support. Clarity eliminates ambiguity and sets your team up for success. So another action step here, before your next conversation, take a moment to outline your key points. Use this simple framework. What is the main message you want to convey? What action do you need others to take? What questions might they have, and how can you address them proactively? All right, key number 3, lead with emotional intelligence. Leadership isn't about logic and strategy, it's about connection. Emotional intelligence, or EQ, is what separates good leaders from great ones. Why? Because people don't just follow ideas, they follow those who make them feel understood and valued. Dr. Daniel Goldman, a pioneer in emotional intelligence research, highlights that leaders with high EQ inspire greater loyalty and productivity. Here's how to put it into practice. Recognize your emotions. Before diving into a conversation, ask yourself, what am I feeling and how might that affect how I communicate? And empathize with others. Put yourself in their shoes. What pressures or emotions might they be experiencing? I once worked with a startup CEO who had to deliver difficult feedback to a team member. Instead of focusing solely on performance metrics, she began with empathy. I know you've been juggling a lot lately, and I want to support you in succeeding here. This approach softened the conversation, making it constructive rather than combative. So an action step for you again is in your next challenging conversation, pause to acknowledge both your emotions and the other person's. Phrases like, I understand this might be difficult to hear, or let's work together to find a solution that works for us both. Okay, so here's an essential insight. Communication is a two-way street. The most impactful leaders recognize that communication is not just about speaking, it's about connection. End every conversation by ensuring the other person feels heard, valued, and respected. Here's one simple yet powerful phrase to close with. Thank you for sharing your perspective. I value your input, and I'm committed to working toward a positive outcome. This approach reinforces trust and leaves the door open for future collaboration. Here's my challenge to you. Reflect on one area where you struggle, with communication specifically. Is it listening? Being clear? How about empathy? Share it in the comments, and I'll personally reply with some tailored advice to help you level up. Alchemists, if this video resonated with you, I know you're going to like my next video on personal growth and leading with impact. That's why I've linked it right here for you. Bye for now.